Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Hey everyone, welcome to the tasting table. We got a very special Passover episode for us today, and we're gonna try some stuff. We're tasting it. This is the table to do it. My name's Chandler Phillips.
I'm James Beery.
And let's get right down to it. We wanted to celebrate this Passover with a very special Buffalo Trace Rye Recipe Kosher edition. It is certified kosher by the Chicago Rabbinical Council, so you know it's legit. And
All the other rabbinical councils?
they're not legit.
They're not like the Chicago rabbinical
No one knows it like Chicago. Buffalo Trace, as we know, is a pretty poppin' distillery these days.
Hailing from the far lands.
Pretty sure they're Kentucky. Yeah. They are they're in Kentucky where most bourbons come from. They usually put out like a 5-year bourbon. It's Buffalo Trace, or they also have their 10-year Eagle Rare, which
we need to do again
that
on video.
That one's a personal favorite of mine.
Yeah.
The only problem is, as of late, during the bourbon boom, or in the aftermath of the fallout, of the bourbon boom, things have gotten a lot more pricey for.
Oh, Eagle Rare is up like $20.
It used to be one of the most affordable 10-year whiskey on the market. Now, it's kind of average.
It's almost like it's like $79 now for the 750.
And like there once was a time.
There once was a time back in the. Okay, I'm not.
It was like $36.
Yeah,
that was a great deal for a $10 whiskey.
It was 10-year.
Or $10, yeah, 10-year whiskey.
$10 whiskey.
That would be great.
Maybe we've had too much of this bottle.
Oh my God, if we had a 10-year $10 whiskey, a 10-10-10, that would be sick. Made of 10 different grains. So James, you're probably wondering, asking to yourself,
what makes it kosher?
Exactly.
Because I was wondering about this. Like, are they is it the facilities that are koshered? Like they come with like torches and kosher the surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one part of it? Like, does like a rabbi have to come and like bless it?
That is exactly.
Oh wait. Also, the grains that are in it.
Now we're thinking.
Hold on.
Our big brains.
Wait a minute. So what is missing from here? What in this bourbon, this rye recipe, kosher bourbon?
Nothing is missing. It is just Buffalo Trace's rye recipe, but every step of the process has been approved and sanctified by a rabbi to acknowledge that there is no cross-contamination with the equipment that was used, with the grains that were used. Like they've all been kept like clean. That's basically it. It's all been kept clean. It's all been kept A-okay. And then
I think this looks better. I don't know. I'm gonna give this a try.
If I could lower mine, I'd probably join you down there.
I'm sorry. I'm taking what you're saying very seriously. I did not mean to do that. It was an accident. I promise.
I kind of liked it. Like I felt a little lording a little bit.
Yes,
like,
sir.
Anyway, back to what makes this kosher. Buffalo Trace worked very diligently in conjunction with the Chicago Rabbinical Council to just make sure that every step of the process was as clean and as little cross-contamination as possible. But as we know, with making whiskeys, you kind of throw all your grains into the mash, and then it does the thing, and then boom, you got your wash. The wort is beer.
Yes.
And the wash, that's with whiskey. That's what it is after it mashes. But for the whiskey to be kosher, the distiller must ensure. This is from the website. The distiller must ensure all the individual ingredients, such as yeast and enzymes, are kosher. But that's only the beginning. And aside from the ingredients, you also have to make sure that the equipment and the timing of ownership is also kosher.
Oh.
So this is where things get a little fun, little tricky. I didn't know that I found out in this research that Buffalo Trace is Jewish owned.
I did not know that.
Which, I mean, it makes sense why they would go through such trouble to make it kosher. But, so during Passover, Pesach, you can't, like, there's part of the, like, rules, the tradition is you can't consume leavened bread or a variety of grains that are considered, what's it called? It's considered chametz, and that's food that's made from it's leaven or it's yeast risen, and it's pretty much food, breads and stuff, but it's anything that contains wheat, oats, barley, spelt, and rye. And so, you're not supposed to consume it. But some people take it even further.
Yes.
Like the OG tradition is you can't have it in your house. So like part of the pre-Passover tradition is to go through the entire house and get rid of your chametz. You either sell it, you throw it away, you do whatever you got to do. Just get it out of your house.
You eat it all.
You eat it all pre-Passover. So it's actually, what Buffalo Trace does, because you can't own chametz over Passover, or else it's not kosher. So Buffalo Trace has an affiliate or a subsidiary or something that they actually sell their barrels of this whiskey to for the duration of Passover, and then buy it back the week later, just so they can kind of get the workaround. And they do this over the course of 7 years or so.
So that it stays kosher.
So that it stays kosher. Now get this. Me as a Jewish person.
The accent.
Having bought this during Passover immediately null and voids all of the kosherness about it.
Yes.
Because I have obtained.
Oh, it's kosher except for during Passover.
Exactly. So usually they release it right after Passover. Well, me being the silly goose, I didn't do the research first. I did it after I got the bottle. And just by virtue of me owning this bottle.
So you blasphemed.
I blasphemed and I unkoshered this.
Wow.
All in one felt swoop. Because
But you'll be okay though, right?
I mean, I'll be fine. I don't know about these other Jews out here, but I'll be fine.
Oh my God.
So yeah, but
can you imagine going around your house getting ready your chametz?
I have imagined it. I've never done it. Yeah, never. I've honestly, but just between you, me, and the rye whiskeys, I still have a tendency to eat the leavened breads even, because
I also eat selfish.
Shellfish. But you're not Jewish.
I'm trying to think. Shellfish. No, that's what you do. That's what you do.
I don't eat. Well,
you whisper to the whiskey. I had shrimp last night.
I'm gonna have you
with
a bacon.
So
sandwich.
This is just a rye recipe bourbon.
So yeah,
that they sell to another company during Passover, and I guess.
But they have worked in affiliation with the Chicago Rabbinical Council to make sure that it's all above board in God's eyes. And then I came and I fucked that up.
Wow, you actually ruined these people's hard work.
Yeah. Like I just done goofed. I thought it would be the super fun, cute thing to be like, oh, it's kosher. Not for Passover.
Fuck.
However, we do have a kosher spirit right
Oh.
here that is in fact kosher for Passover. But we featured this before. The Slivovitz Plum Brandy.
Wow.
The reason that this is kosher and the other one isn't, it has no rye whiskey, or it has no chametz in it. It's just plums.
Just plums.
Easy peas. So I guess if we wanted to stay kosher, we would do shots of the Slivovitz. But for the sake of novelty.
For the sake of my liver. Thank you.
For the sake of novelty, we're gonna go ahead and try the rye recipe.
I'm almost on my second shot glass.
Buffalo Trace kosher edition. Kosher, it's kosher unkoshered. So
yes, I'm sticking my nose in a fucking shot glass. Okay, I didn't want. Listen. Okay, there's a bulb glass here. Leave me alone.
it's not for you. It's for the prophet Elijah. So what do you think?
So I was close, but like
You were just listing off. You were like,
I would have got there eventually.
I don't know.
I would have been like Isaiah, like just start naming them
Start
off.
naming. It's for Abraham.
Yeah. Fuck, is it? I don't want to blaspheme because I don't want to disrespect anybody's. I just want to pour a little out from my homie Abraham.
That's,
Just saying.
so you've already taken a little sipperoonie of that. What are you getting from it? What's the vibe?
I get the vibe of I don't understand how this is 94 proof because the mouthfeel, simple, kind of creamy, a little sweet on the end. I'm not really getting that heavy rye burn. I'm not getting the heavy ethanol burn. I'm getting let's say
I find it a little bit fruitier than the average Buffalo Trace.
very fruity.
It's not as spiced as I would expect something that's a little bit more rye heavy. Ooh, you know what's even funnier on this whole thing? If I would have gotten just a regular ass bourbon, that would have been more kosher for Passover than the rye. But they didn't have a rye, or they didn't have a bourbon because, well, actually, so that would have just been for Sephardic rules, because Ashkenazic rules is like you can't have anything that's like corn, rice, millet.
And just to make clear for all of the listeners and watchers, you are the sole authority on this topic, right?
Yeah. In fact, I am the Chicago Rabbinical Council.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure.
No, okay. So this is one of the divides between the Sephardim and the Ashkenazim.
Fuck. It sounds like Final Fantasy. the Sephir. It sounds cool. I'm not hating it. That sounds cool as fuck.
Honestly,
if somebody could be like, "Yo, name your group," I'd be like, the Sephardim.
They got cooler rules, to be honest. You can eat more like a more variety of things during Passover, because we'll get into it in the actual episode.
Huh.
And they also, apparently, this was also on the in my research, there was an edict or some resolution or something in like 1400 where a rabbi was like, "Hey, no polygamy. Not cool." And the Sephardim rabbis were like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe just the scooch."
I feel like this is like a nice little tease for the episode because that's right. I have a question. Right? Are there like? So I know about like Sephardic and the Ashkenazic Jews, and I do know that there are other types of Jewish people.
There's the Aloha region,
but are there primarily just two?
There's the main two,
because that's very similar to Islam.
But then there's technically I think there's like 4.
I thought it was like 4 or 5.
Yeah, because like there's the Sephardic are the ones who went to like the dividing line pretty much is France and Germany, because Ashkenazi actually comes from the Hebrew word for the area that is now Germany, because it was just a bunch of kingdoms when we showed up. But so the Eastern European sect, or I guess phenotype, I don't know, because it is like my mom did like a 23andMe and it came back specifically Ashkenazic.
Okay, but here's the question though. The real question is: the Buffalo Trace Ashkenazic or Sephardic?
Given just the prevalence of, or how
what kind of Jew is this liquor?
I think it's Ashkenazic. That would be my assumption. Is Ashken, but I don't know for sure.
What specific type of Jewish trauma does this whiskey have?
Oh, so this one, most likely the Jewish trauma is more Holocausty, maybe. Pogroms, the ones that happened in Russia, because that was a whole where they would like send the Cossacks to go into the shtetl and just be like, "Hey, there's too many of you. We got to get rid
I
of
think
some
I've
of
seen
you.
that, and everything's illuminated.
Mm-hmm. The very same. And then the Sephardic trauma would be more like the, the various ethnic cleansings that happened in the Iberian Peninsula, and also just the shit that went down during the Reconquista and the Spanish Inquisition and all that good stuff, and just the general, like, because Spain also had its own fascist uprising, and it had it in a very special way, but it was too busy kind of fighting itself to really fight the Jews in it. Like, it never really got the stronghold that it had in, or at least fascism when it was hot, you know. And then there's Mizrahim Jews. They're like the Arabian Peninsula, like the ones who.
What kind of liquor are they?
That's a good question. I would guess probably like Arak. Arak.
Arak.
It's Arak.
Yeah, Iraq, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
But and then there's the fourth group, which is like the Northern Africa and Ethiopia, and I don't remember what the specific name is. And then there's just like other, where it's like there's just like
somewhere there's like one person who listens to this who's other, and they're like,
if
I'm sorry.
If you are in the other category, let us know. I'd love to know how you identify, I guess, in the realm of...
Comment below, what kind of Jew are you?
What kind of Jew? I'm the kind with IBS. Oh, okay. So, like, an American one.
I feel like if it wasn't for the Seder plate that was here, I feel like this could be interpreted the complete wrong way.
Well, it's a good thing I put together this slapstick Seder plate.
Wow. I can't wait to see, was that a good taste? Which we learned about the Seder plate. I want to, wait, we have exactly 3 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I don't like this as much as the regular Buffalo Trace.
Ooh, okay. Hot take.
I think that Eagle Rare, I just like at being 10 years, especially at its like pre-pandemic pricing, especially for the, I believe for the Magnum, it was like $120 or something. It was like,
that's up there.
Like it was not for the Magnum. I thought it was
Magnum.
I don't know how much it was. It was cheap, wasn't it? 70? No, it was like $79.
Yeah,
it was $80.
Back in our liquor store.
That's
days,
how much.
Like $80.
It was $80 for the Magnum of Eagle Rare. I think at that price, a Magnum of that is fucking amazing.
Oh yeah,
the value is good. Buffalo Trace on the East Coast is a little pricey. It's getting up to like $46 for 750 mil.
Which I go back to California. I go back to Nevada, and that shit's still $25 for a bottle of Buffalo Trace for just the regular old Buffalo Trace.
I don't know. I'm not saying this is bad. I think it's a little interesting, the complexity, throwing in a little bit of the rye. It's fruity on the nose, but I'm not tasting the fruitiness. You know, the one thing I think is very interesting about it is that it's smooth, because at 94 proof, I'm not getting the overburning like ethanol. I'm not getting it down the back of my palate. It's not burning going down my esophagus. If anything, that's kind of what I think is like the main characteristic of this that I like, is that it's easy drinking.
It is an easy drinker. However, I do think it has some interesting dynamics that you don't necessarily get with a traditional Buffalo Trace, and I think the sweetness, the little bit of cinnamon, stone fruit notes that you get from it, I would say I like it more than regular Buffalo Trace. However, I found it retailing for about $69, and I don't think it's $69.
Not for 750 mil of this. They had $35, $36. That being
I'd even
said,
give it like 45.
but not discounting the great amount of effort and work it takes to either bring in new equipment. Since if they do this all the time, they probably have specified equipment and space. But or if you don't have that, having a like group come in and kosher your equipment, you know, that can be very expensive.
So
you
they
know.
just started doing this in 2020. Was when they first released.
I remember seeing it. I remember
Yeah.
seeing it. You know, even the act of selling it to like somebody else to doing that is a curve of cost.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand where the cost comes from. So if you're a Jewish individual outside of Passover,
Give it a shot. Try it out.
give it a go.
Give it a go. It's good. I would put it on par with the 1776 rye. But I mean, we both know the 1776 overproof rye is one of my favorites come allergy season.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's a good rye whiskey. Good, not great, but it's neat. It's neat.
Neat.
That's been the Tasting Table. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, stay tuned for we're gonna do a whole last Passover thing.
Wow, I'm super excited. Damn, we can't pretend like the timing is different because.
No, we still got the same
Yeah.
plate set up.
All right, well, peace. Go home, you're drunk.
Do, 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 do.